So Kathleen Sebelius delivering that mea culpa on the disastrous rollout. Still, though, she has a job today.
So is it possible to get fired by this president? And is that the right move for Sebelius? Bernard Whitman is a former pollster for Bill Clinton and Democratic strategist. And Mark Thiessen is a fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, in the Washington Post columnist, and a former speechwriter for President George W. Bush. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. You have too many jobs. Who loses a job here?
Nobody. I mean, look, I think Kathleen Sebelius summed up President Obama's attitude pretty clearly yesterday when she said, whatever. That seems to be his attitude to all these cabinet secretaries who keep failing him. I mean, in the real world, Kathleen Sebelius would have been fired. It's not even just that she mismanaged and mangled the implementation of Obamacare. She blindsided her boss. By her own admission, she didn't warn him that his signature legislative initiative was about to implode. And so in the real world, she would have been fired, but this isn't the real world. This is Washington, and Obama is an ideologue, and he loves Kathleen Sebelius. He loves Eric Holder. He loves Susan Rice. They go out and take bullets for him and deflect criticism from him, so they're not going to get fired.
Bernard, you know, the National Journal has written an article about this. They have a theory, which is the president has a profound unwillingness to fire anybody when he thinks it's about politics. And they cite Ken Salazar was not fired over the BP spill. Stephen Chu was not fired over Solyndra. Eric Holder not fired over Fast and Furious. Can the president fire anybody if something goes wrong?
I absolutely think the president can and would fire someone for gross negligence, for something illegal or improper, and I actually give the president a lot of credit for not taking the easy path here and scapegoating the secretary and firing her and not fixing the problem. Instead, he is digging in his heels, as is the HHS secretary, insisting that the most important thing here is that Healthcare.gov get fixed. And second to that, in a close second, after it gets fixed and up and rolling, that we have a full, complete, and fair, impartial hearing on the facts and figure out what happened, not to blame people, not to point fingers, and not to scapegoat, but to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again. And frankly, I commend the president for not taking the easy road here and just scapegoating.
Mark, what about that? I mean, what about that scapegoating would be easier than finding a solution and she should stick around?
I'm sorry, but if the rollout of Obamacare is not gross negligence, it has no meaning. Okay? If you were to define gross negligence in the Oxford English Dictionary, it would say Obamacare rollout. Okay, so what the real reason, I think, honestly, outside of ideological loyalty for the president, is he can't afford to have a confirmation hearing right now for the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Can you imagine what? Oh, absolutely, and they would use it to get documents. Who knew what, when, and everything.
Do you think in a private conversation she said, you know, if you want me to step down, I will? If you want me to resign, I shall?
She hasn't said that. That's actually one of the really interesting questions, is why she hasn't offered her resignation or said that she offered it. I mean, when I was in the Bush administration during the Abu Ghraib crisis, Donald Rumsfeld offered his resignation not once but twice over Abu Ghraib, and he wasn't even directly responsible for Abu Ghraib. He wasn't running the night shift in a prison thousands of miles away. Kathleen Sebelius was directly responsible for the rollout of Obamacare. She should have offered her resignation. I find it fascinating that she hasn't.
But Mark, you do not throw the captain overboard in the middle of a storm. You wait till the storm subsides, you get back to land, you figure out what happened, how did the captain perform, and then you decide accordingly. Frankly, loyalty is something that is quite rare in Washington, and I actually also commend the president for having the trust and the loyalty with Kathleen Sebelius, and that matters for something because it's rare in this town.
Are Democrats a little worried too? If you've got to have a confirmation hearing, that all the warts we have seen in this program so far will just be exposed even more?
Again, this is not and should not be about politics. It should be about getting the system fixed for the American people, because the fact is the Affordable Care Act delivers benefits, extraordinary benefits, to tens of millions of people, and unfortunately the botched rollout here has prevented the American people from fully taking advantage of all the benefits under the Act, like preventative care.
So Mark, is it Kathleen Sebelius's to fix? Should she not leave until this is fixed?
Yeah, well, number one, loyalty is a two-way street. She should have offered her resignation, and the president could have turned it down, like President Bush did turn down Rumsfeld's nomination. But two, if you want to restore, I mean, one of the biggest problems here is that Americans have completely lost confidence in the system. If you believe in this, and they've lost their confidence, and having the same people who delivered the flawed website, having the same people who delivered 2 million people now losing their health insurance after the president said that no one would, you know, that doesn't inspire confidence. If you want to inspire confidence, you need new leadership.
All right, guys, we have to leave it there. Mark Thiessen, Bernard Whitman, thanks so much
for the debate.
Thanks, guys.
End of March. We'll watch that deadline, too.